presumptive Republican nominee, Donald Trump, says he's raised $6 million for veterans charities. He's expected to announce further details at a news conference he's planning later this morning. He has faced pressure to reveal how much money went to specific veterans charities. I want to bring in Trump campaign national spokesperson Katrina Pierson. Katrina, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning. Great to be here.
I just want to point out that obviously, you know, the veterans have gotten much more money and attention and energy from Donald Trump than anybody else. But why hasn't he announced already what specific charities that money went to?
Well, you know, Maria, he actually did early on when we first had this event. And you'll know that this event was put together in about 24 hours. And we did release 22 charities that we knew for sure had been vetted and were going to be receiving those funds, and those charities did receive funds. What the media doesn't know is that there were several other charities that had applied for some of these funds, and we had announced months ago that sometimes it can take up to 6 weeks to 6 months to properly vet these charities and get those funds dispersed, and that's what Mr. Trump is going to be announcing today.
I see. And how much of the money has already been allocated of the $6 million that he's raised?
It is up to $6 million, absolutely. You know, this is something that the media really has blown out of proportion.
How much of that has been allocated already, Katrina? Has some of that money been allocated? Yeah, obviously, it has been allocated already. About half of it?
Yes. No, I think all of it has now been allocated, and that's what Mr. Trump is going to be announcing today. A few months ago, media was reporting about three or 4 million at that point, but they didn't know about these other charities that had been applying for this money that was being, these charities were being vetted, and then the money was being dispersed. Look, this is one of the issues that has really been a driving force of Mr. Trump as a person as well as a candidate. Along the campaign trail, when you have all these veterans and their families coming up to Mr. Trump, this is one of the 2 times that I have seen Mr. Trump get choked up with meeting some of these families. It's the veterans and those families who have lost loved ones to illegal immigrant crime. And those 2 things have really been fueling Mr. Trump emotionally to get out there and campaign so that he can help make America great again.
Wow. Dagan.
Katrina, I just wanted to quickly ask the $6 million, how much of that is his own donation? Because I think he was going to, $1 million was what he was going to give of his own money, or has already, rather.
Yes, Dagan, and you'll also notice the reports leading up to the last 24 hours. A lot of the media was saying that Mr. Trump had not given this $1 million, but once he made the announcement that he was going to hold a press conference about the charitable donations, everyone's now reporting that Mr. Trump gave $1 million. So this is just another example of the biased media that is really out there trying to hurt Mr. Trump's candidacy, because we hear nothing about the Clinton Foundation, about the $5 million that was supposed to go to Haiti. We don't know where this money's going. We don't know about Hillary Clinton's $500,000 speech in Moscow and Bill Clinton's connection to the uranium miner cell that was going to Vladimir Putin. We don't hear anything with regards to transparency, but for some reason, everyone's focused on a charity event that Mr. Trump himself put up in light of a debate, put his own money in, and is now being forced to give every single detail about it. But you know what? It does show the media bias.
It's unbelievable, Katrina, actually. You know what? That's true.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and Katrina, I was at the event where Donald Trump did the veterans event in Iowa, the one that, you know, has sparked for some controversy.
It was fantastic.
It was amazing. And the support that Donald Trump has from veterans is nothing less than palpable. I mean, you can sense it at the rallies. You saw it at that event. I think they see in him somebody who is not going to forget them, somebody who will just take names and kick rear ends at the VA and make that organization serve the veterans. There's no doubt in my mind that he has a really strong support from vets.
Right. I remember that night because you were on the Fox debate. He skipped the Fox debate to do, obviously, the veterans, and then you left the debate and went and
yeah, I was in the first debate. I had nothing to do later because I didn't make the main stage, and so I said, heck, let's go support the veterans. And I was very proud I did. Very happy to stand there with him to do that.
And we were very proud to have you there. I mean, it was amazing. And to your point, you can feel it, and it's not even just the veterans, and that's the phenomena that most people don't understand in the media or in Washington, D.C., but the people get it. And I always tell everyone, if you really want to know what's behind the Donald Trump campaign, just go to a Trump rally. It'll be something you've never experienced, and it's an amazing opportunity to see all of the types of people that are supporting Mr. Trump, Republicans, Democrats. There is no race or gender bias at these rallies. There's just a lot of love and support for America.
Katrina, let me switch gears, asking about this Washington Post reporter suggesting that Donald Trump should consider his daughter, Ivanka Trump, as vice president. What do you think?
I think a lot of people would love to see Ivanka Trump on the ticket. Mr. Trump has stated that he does want someone with political experience, but at the end of the day, we all know Mr. Trump will be the one making that decision. I think Ivanka would be a phenomenal choice. She's an amazing woman. In fact, all of his children are amazing and are very good advocates for Mr. Trump, the man.
John Hilsner?
Looking beyond the family, let's talk about the timetable. When do you expect him to be making a decision on this front?
We do expect this decision to be made at the convention. As Corey Lewandowski mentioned yesterday on some of the networks, that list has been shortened. And I think it's going to be really exciting. I think most people are still stuck in the old political paradigm where you have to pick someone who can either carry a state or is a certain race or a certain gender. And Mr. Trump simply wants to pick the right person for the job, someone that believes in his vision to help make America great again. And so I think the announcement is going to be one that we'll all be waiting for.
So how do you define right? How do you define the right person?
Well, Mr. Trump will be defining that right person, someone that he's comfortable with.
And
someone that wants to support his values and his vision.
He said political experience. Let me ask you, Governor Huckabee, have you discussed with Donald Trump having a role in his government?
I've talked with some of the people, but not about some specific role. And one of the things I can tell you in politics, people who talk don't know, and people who know don't talk. So if somebody comes on and tells you they know everything that's going on inside the organization and they start spilling it, they don't know what they're talking about. If they're not talking, they probably know more than they let on to be.
Marco Rubio was sounding very...
Great observation.
Marco Rubio was sounding very... kind about.
Well, he apologized.
He apologized for the comment about the hands. He
showed a lot of class.
He said that he was going to do what he could to support him.
Absolutely.
You're right.
Yeah.
Katrina, is Marco Rubio in the running?
Well, I think everyone, Mr. Trump has already said, everyone that has run in this cycle was up for consideration. He didn't want to leave anybody out for any reason. And I think that goes to show another important aspect of Mr. Trump's leadership, is that he's not going to say that he's not going to look at anyone just because they were one of his competitors. He wants the right person for the job, someone that can get out there and help him spread his vision.
Katrina, good to see you. Thanks so much.
Great to be here.
We appreciate it. We'll see you soon. Katrina Pierson there.